going to make cultured vegetables. I have a lot of people asking me how I make them, so I decided to just make a how-to video instead of having people constantly setting up times for people to come over and watch me do it. So I thought it would be easier just to make a video showing how to do it. The vegetables I'm going to use tonight are 1 green cabbage, 1 purple cabbage, some carrots, garlic, bell pepper, purple onion, some daikon, which is a Japanese radish, and some leftover cilantro that I have, and some zucchini. I'm going to use the zucchini and the green apple and the cilantro to make my brine, and the brine is to help mix the bacteria culture and kind of get it nicely coated over all the vegetables. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. To make vegetables, oh, also I'm going to add my garlic because it's easier to puree that to get the flavor all over the vegetables if you just puree it. Make the brine. First, you're going to need a food processor, unless you want to cut everything up by hand, which I don't like to do that, so it's more time consuming. Just chop it. Just do a rough chop on everything. Got some of the stickers still stuck on there. Okay. I use all organic vegetables just because it's more nutritious. You know, the point of making fermented vegetables is to help get rid of toxins and clean the body and the adrenals, and you don't really want to use vegetables that have been sprayed with pesticides, or so I like to use all organic. The benefits to fermented vegetables, or they also call it cultured vegetables, is it's good for the gastrointestinal system because you're adding a probiotic culture to it, and you're also just when they ferment, you're creating this beneficial bacteria colony, and it's good to remove toxins, and it also multiplies all the vitamins and the minerals, so it's kind of kills a lot of birds with one stone. We've been eating cultured vegetables for probably going on 5 years now, and we've been able to see the benefits. My daughter is definitely a lot healthier than she used to be. She doesn't get as sick. We all don't get nearly as sick as often. I think it's also helped a lot with her overcoming her autism. Get some of the yucky cilantro out of there. Kind of going bad on me. Okay. Cilantro is a good thing, a good ingredient to use to remove all the toxins from your body also. So, and the green apple helps kind of liven up the good bacteria. It wakes them up so they can start feasting and multiplying. Then I'll add some of the garlic, some leftover garlic here. Give that a rough chop, put that in there. You don't want to use too much garlic. I mean, you can add other spices and things to it, play around with the taste, but it also multiplies in flavor. So if you put a lot of garlic, that's probably all you're going to taste when you're eating your vegetables. There's been times where I've also added like a spirulina powder to my brine, which is, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to spirulina, things that you can't find in other foods. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I haven't used spirulina in a while. It's an ocean vegetable, so it kind of gives it a, I mean, it actually doesn't taste that bad. It's not that bad, but I don't know. I just was using it a lot and kind of just got tired of the taste, so. You can also ferment ocean vegetables too. It's actually really healthy because, you know, there's things that you can find in ocean vegetables that you can't normally, that you can't find in land vegetables, like different antioxidants and phytonutrients, things like that. Alright, so I added about, I'll do this one last garlic. I added about 5 cloves of garlic to my mixture, or to my brine. And then I'm going to get a bowl, put a little warm water. You don't want to use super, the bowl's kind of dirty. Maybe get another one. This is good. You want to add maybe half a cup of water, maybe, yeah, about a half a cup of water, warm water, lukewarm water. Bacteria doesn't like super cold water. And then hopefully it works. Yay, it's not going. Me and this food processor have a love-hate relationship. Alright, that's pretty good. Just to get it where it's nice and chopped up. And then I pour it into my bowl. And then let me take that off. And then I'm going to add the bacteria to my brine now. This is the bacteria culture that I use. It's a Body Ecology Culture Starter. I just take one packet and then I add it to my brine. Make sure it all gets out of there. And I used to add, you can add just honey or something else, you know, some type of prebiotic like honey to kind of liven up the bacteria. I also have the apple in there too, but I go kind of a next step and I add this Echo Bloom. It's a prebiotic dietary fiber. It feeds the bacteria, wakes them up, helps them multiply, makes the fermented vegetables more potent. And this one's made of chicory extract. And you can put 1 to 3 scoops in there, but we like it strong, so I add 3 scoops. It's like sticking. There you go. You're gonna mix this and let it sit for like 40-45 minutes. Just mix it around. There we go. And I usually like to keep it out of the light, so it's kind of bright in here, but I'll put it over here where it's darker. And then, because the bacteria doesn't like the light. And then I'm gonna set up for my shredding my fermented veggies. Get all my gadgets. Oops, wrong way. I'm gonna do this side. And then I put this on here. First thing I'm gonna do is my green cabbage. And you don't really need to watch me shred all the vegetables. I'll probably just shred them all. And then I'll just shred them all and then show you what I do after they're all shredded. But I'll kind of shred a little bit so you can see the consistency that I like to use. I have to do this probably about every 2 weeks or so. And the amount that I'm shredding will make probably 7 jars. So you can see this is the consistency that you want. Or, I mean, if you like it thicker, that's fine. And I'm going to shred all the other vegetables, and then I can show you what it looks like afterwards. There's all the pretty vegetables. And make your tummy all nice and healthy. Oops. So, I forgot to mention in the beginning that you need to sanitize your mason jars. And I'm going to do that right now. While the water is coming to a boil, I guess it's okay to go ahead and tell you that I use 32-ounce mason jars. I prefer wide mouth, which is probably about this big, versus the narrow or the smaller mouth jars cut openings, because when you're trying to shove those veggies in there, a bigger opening is better. So I can actually get my fist in there and push them down. Alright, so I've sanitized all my jars. I have 6 jars because I think that's how much this is all going to fill. Next stage in the process is mixing the bacteria all over these scrumptious veggies. So I'm going to pour it all on there. And then I'm going to do a little mixing. Oh, these colorful vegetables. So again, we used green cabbage, purple cabbage, carrots, daikon, which is a Japanese radish, an orange bell pepper, a red bell pepper, red onion, and for the brine I used zucchini, garlic, cilantro, and 1 green apple. Okay, so they're all pretty much mixed together. And remember that wide mouth jars work better than narrow mouth jars or small mouth jars, and you're going to find out why right now. Because I can't fit very much in there. It's annoying. The wide mouth jar, I could just stick my fist in there and push it down. It's tedious. Stuff it all in there. I hope Taylor understands how much I love her someday. 4 years of this. Well, we haven't even got to the keyframe part yet. Alright, so then get a napkin and clean it up. You can see the juice is kind of already filling up. You're going to see juice kind of rise over time. And I let them ferment for 7 days. You want them to ferment at a temperature between 70 and 75 degrees. So you want to keep them in a cool place. I guess if it's 70, you know, between, I guess more like 72, 78 is good. But not any hotter than or warmer than that or colder than that, because it'll take forever to ferment. They won't ferment right if it's colder than that. And then I just put them on my counter right there. And I'm going to do this 5 more times. So I want to go over really quick what they kind of taste like. And obviously it depends on the kind of vegetables you use, but the ones that I'm making or using right now, it's going to have, they're kind of bitter a little bit. It's a different taste. It's kind of salsa-like, especially when you put salt on them, because I always put salt on them, but they can, you know, they have a funky smell to them. So it takes time to get over the smell, and it is going to kind of stink up your house while they're fermenting because air is constantly escaping, but the important part is that there's no air going in, otherwise you'll have rotten vegetables. But I know people who put like a little coconut oil or a little, you know, almond oil or just different kinds of oils, maybe olive oil on it, just to try and tone down the smell. But we're kind of all used to it, so, but the ocean vegetables, I mean, it definitely enhances the ocean kind of flavor. A lot of people, I've eaten fermented vegetables that they add like caraway seeds, and I like that. That's really good. But I haven't done that in a while. But you know, there's different things you can play around with the flavor, and there's actually a lot of recipes now, like on Pinterest or on the web that you can find, because it's a lot of people seem to be going back to the fermented way of life, knowing how beneficial these foods are. So I just want to give a brief explanation of kind of what they're going to taste like, what they're going to kind of smell like. You can also, you don't have to ferment them for 7 days. You can try them out at 4 days. See if you know you like the flavor. They are going to be crunchy. Sometimes they may be soggy. Just because they're soggy doesn't mean that they're bad. But I've only gotten one soggy batch since I've been doing this, and I don't know necessarily why it does that. Maybe because there's more liquid. I don't know, in the earlier part of the process. But yeah, I would just open a jar like at day 4, see if you like it. Maybe open one at day 5, you know, because you know, the flavors multiply, you know, and become more enhanced, you know, as the fermentation process continues. So it just kind of depends on your palate and what you like. So that's it.